And to take this story further, we are being joined by Christopher Hale, who has worked very closely with President Barack Obama and Joe Biden in the White House and on the campaign trail as well. Mr. Hale, thank you so much for joining us here on WION. Good to see you. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Thank you. All right, let me begin by asking you this. We have been hearing recurring themes of change, joy, hope, forward, future by the DNC, the speakers at the DNC so far, as well as Kamala Harris. But I want to ask you this. For someone who's still in the White House, how does one justify talking about change, joy, and hope?
You know, it's a great question. I think there's the reality, the political reality, and the governing reality. I think that really what the party's arguing, and we'll see if the voters buy it, is that Kamala Harris is her own person and she'll govern in her own way. And I think they're really trying to lean into the biography. Obviously, Joseph R. Biden was a staple of the Democratic Party. He's spoken all but one Democratic National Convention since 1976. So that's 48 years on the national stage. This is only Kamala Harris's third convention. So I think the argument is that she is a fresh voice, a new voice, but the criticism's fair. She does own this administration. She was the vice president. But I think that, and I hope they do, I think there's a lot of things that the American people like about this administration. 3 major bills that the Democrats passed: the Inflation Reduction Act, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and the Recovery Act. I think these are things that she can run on. So it's a little bit of continuity and change. But I do think that tone, joy, is something that really differentiates herself from her predecessor. Joe Biden, something I didn't think was a great idea. Him and his campaign really ran on overcoming January 6, 2021, which of course was an attempted insurrection led by former Donald Trump. She's less obsessed with that. She's moving forward.
Right, Mr. Hale, since you say that, but when it comes to economy, unemployment, for example, the war in Gaza, do you think it might hurt Kamala Harris going forward if she keeps sticking by President Biden when it comes to these issues?
You know, it's a great question. I think the reality of it is that she needs President Biden's coalition. So she cannot separate herself too far. To be a Democrat in the United States is to love Joe Biden, at least to be a median Democrat in this country. Of course, she'll need more than Biden lovers to win this election. But I don't think she honestly has any other option. I think she's got to stay as close to him as is feasible. But she can step out on those issues. Obviously, Joe Biden was a hawk on Israel's right to defend itself. She has a more nuanced view and has been a stronger voice, a louder voice at least, for a ceasefire. And, you know, as a campaign strategist who's looking at, we're in Chicago today, I'm looking just 40 miles, 50 miles away from here in Michigan. We need Muslim voters in Michigan who are very upset. And so I think her ability to move just away on some of these issues, I hope that the voters will give her a second look. She is her own person. And I think that we have to recognize that to be a vice president is to serve the administration, but it's not to be the decider of the administration. Right,
Mr. Hale, I'm completely out of time, but very quickly, if you could tell me, you have worked with Barack Obama very quickly. You know what it is to be a Democrat and riding on opinion polls. What is going to be the biggest challenge right after DNC ends for Kamala Harris?
We actually have to talk about policy. If a policy election, we're losing on the policy issues. If this is a policy election, Donald Trump will win. If this is a vibes, that's the word of the day, personality election, Kamala Harris will be elected the 47th president.
All right, Mr. Hale, thank you so much for joining us on WION and getting us all those insights. Good to speak to you.
Thank you so much.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.